Yo, this subject is still woefully misunderstood. People of every opinion and orientation are misinformed. So this topic must be clarified, and I have extraordinary insight. Before revealing my position, I give ample amounts of necessary background information. Detecting gayness. So-called gaydar does not exist, and conjecture is unreliable. In yesteryear, everyone was closeted. Hiding in a closet would be illogical if it was transparent like a display case. Some used feigned obsession with the opposite sex, even vapid marriages, to avoid excoriation. Everyone not displaying pronounced heterosexual interest was pigeonholed and rejected or ejected from society. Oppression continues. Most of those who discriminate against sexual nonconformists also discriminate against stateless bachelors. Often stemming from homophobia, men are aloof and antisocial towards other men. Some falsely associate pink with gayness. Instead, 0% of gay men prefer pink, most are adverse to the color, while perhaps 1% of straight men prefer it. Popular gay hangouts are unduly painted black. A man I knew who identified as gay always wore all black, another had a black refrigerator. Especially masculine men, so-called bears, are a prominent feature of the gay community. And drag queens who dress like women are often more aggressive than most men and have very masculine sexual behavior. So male femininity does not equal gayness. Stereotypical mannerisms are sometimes obvious. However, some straight men adopt gay mannerisms and culture to be trendy. Such men, though seemingly gay, are actually metrosexual. Also, some gay men are overly straight in manner and appearance. One characteristic stands out. If a man's best friend is a straight woman, he's probably gay. This is because women are uncomfortable around men whom they're not romantically involved with unless this discomfort is removed, such as apparent lack of possible attraction. Few boyfriends or husbands would tolerate such closeness otherwise. We can know when somebody is not gay or lesbian. If anyone has old-fashioned ideas pertaining to religion, politics, pregnancy, child rearing, racial relations, women's rights, divorce, and marriage, they're not gay. This is a logical induction. Gays are modernists. From universal observation, gays are considered highly intelligent. Advocate magazine, June 19, 2007, declared the smartest man in the world is gay. However, this can be subjective. While people with lower intelligence seem to be eliminated, as it takes extra intelligence to circumvent society's norm, developmental disabilities such as Asperger's and ADD/ADHD, along with social problems, are also disproportionately high. Dishonest right-wing tactics. Years ago, opposition to homosexuality was often misguided, such as enforcing so-called anti-buggery or anti-sodomy laws by spying on people through peepholes, and police masturbating in public washrooms to entice and entrap men. When homosexual acts were illegal, blackmailers sprouted up like dandelions in response. Largely due to gross negligence by the Reagan administration, the U.S. AIDS epidemic was allowed to rampage unabated and spread throughout the planet. Protestant religious leaders stank too. Their convictions were understandable, but mixing religion with self-righteousness, fear, hatred, and ignorance was not. After the gay rights movement entered the national spotlight, preachers regularly railed that all homosexuals were potential child molesters, brainwashers of children, serial killers, highly contagious disease carriers, plotters against the government, were satanic and had horns popping out of their head. Congregants objected to employers, landlords, and realtors having to hire or house gay people and opposed aiding them in an emergency. Yet if everyone discriminated, all gay people would be homeless and could starve. And nobody helping in an emergency could be murdered. People confessed numerous types of unwanted behaviors, so church members prayed for them and had organized support groups. However, the so-called cure for homosexuality was AIDS. Therefore, those who struggled with unwanted homosexuality hid themselves. So church leaders assumed that no churchgoer had such proclivities, yet continually mentioned homosexuality. Nonsensical indeed. Apparently, this issue was being used as a smokescreen to divert attention from the personal sins, faults, and problems of straight people. Magnifying gayness bedazzled and blinded people to other relevant issues, while the world drowned in numerous troubles. Since few people over the last centuries were even tempted by homosexuality, presto, a convenient scapegoat. Catholics were hypocritical too. Pedophile priests consecrated and distributed their communion. If your own house is dirty and you won't admit that hypocrisy undermines your position, the Catholic priesthood is the world's biggest closet. Many churchgoers don't love their spouses, the rising divorce, etc. You've got problems. Gay rights opponents' legal maneuvering still masks the lone reason for opposing alternative lifestyles, religion. That's because we Americans have separation of church and state. To legally condemn actions or behaviors that aren't immediately harmful, one must support church and state integration. Homosexuals infiltrating and converting straight youngsters through molestation is nonsense. It would be like making people want a food they despise by force feeding it. Contrarily, gays usually segregate themselves in enclaves such as West Hollywood, Los Angeles, La Village Gay, Montreal, Greenwich Village, Manhattan, Boys Town, Chicago, Fire Island, off New York's Long Island, La Marais, Paris, and the Castro, San Francisco. Alternative people sometimes see straights as the infiltrators. The Castro district removed their welcome mat. Conservatives resist the concept of inborn homosexual tendencies, which is established beyond a reasonable doubt. To avoid looking silly, they should accept this reality. Admitting such doesn't equal approval. Biological tendencies can be good, intelligence and strength, bad, handicaps, or neutral, blue or brown eyes. Since many sexual nonconformists were made to feel so badly that their suicide rate was a dozen times higher than others, extra sensitivity and compassion was needed. Instead, right-wingers continued their obnoxious, unloving attitude and thoroughly abused the Bible. In consequence of their self-righteousness and hypocrisy, pro-gay theology surfaced, culminating in the Metropolitan Community Church. Because of shifting public opinion, some people re-examined the subject and were surprised at the scope of gay theological knowledge. Demonstrably, the Bible never addresses loving, committed gay couples, while sporadic condemnation of homosexuality amongst early church writings appears offset by those actually practicing the lifestyle. And there is no record of Jesus saying anything about homosexuality. You have to see part 2, 3, 4, etc. Take care.